welcome to Happy Hour. I'm Haley Chura, and this week I have a very special guest, Brittaney Talbot, professional triathlete and recent Boston Marathon finisher.
This is
For the
true.
first time. How are you feeling? It hasn't been that long since Boston. How are the quads?
Quads are better. Body's like pretty much back to like, okay, we can do stuff. I had a little bit of post race blues this morning. I was like, oh, just want to be back and with the folks of Boston. I'm
Because
hurting that much.
has it been a week? Is that like, I like forget because I'm like,
Yes.
we had Boston and we had London and like,
Yes.
this has been fast and furious with the running news. And I also know that like your life has been wild because you raced Oceanside 70.3
Yes.
as in the professional field and then turned around and ran the Boston Marathon. And I want to talk about like that double and your decision to do that. But I think first we should give our listeners a little bit of a background on you. And you are a happy hour listener. So I know that
Oh, yeah.
you came prepared. You have a
I did.
drink for this conversation.
Girl, in the true nature of Brittany can't have one thing, she has to have a million things. And because of what today has just been the most beautiful chaos, I have 5 drinks
What?
because I've just been accumulating them throughout the day. So here's the first thing I made. It looks not good, but it says iced tea, lemonade, matcha.
Okay. Okay. Tell me about matcha because I feel like this is what all the young people drink.
I don't
I
know
have
what
never
I'm doing.
tried it. I've been afraid. Does it taste like grass? I heard it tastes like grass.
Sometimes, yes.
But is
I
it
mean,
good? Why does everyone love matcha? I mean, it's
I don't know.
beautiful. I will
Yeah.
admit, like the green color, it looks beautiful, but is it better than coffee?
Okay, I'm going to say probably traditional matcha when people like ceremonial matcha that has like a long-standing beautiful tradition probably is incredible. This is a powder from Trader Joe's mixed with lemonade and iced tea. So, it's like
Is
we
it
don't really know. It's
Is
kind of
this
like a
like
green tea.
something? Okay, it's green tea.
I
Is it
would
because you
Yes,
live in SoCal? Is this a requirement for living in
yes,
Southern California
absolutely.
to drink
Absolutely.
matcha?
Your veins must be coursing with matcha at sometimes during the day. So that's drink 1.
Okay.
And then of course there's just like, classic water bottle.
Ironman water
It's
bottle, love it.
casual Ironman World Championship water bottle. Fine.
That was a good
Then
purchase. I have never purchased the Ironman World Championship water bottle. No one knows I've ever went.
oh yeah, so my friend, we're a little off topic already, but my friend Morgan, who you probably like there are 4 maybe less
I
degrees
definitely
separation.
know
Okay.
of Morgan. I
Yes.
definitely like Morgan who just ran the Antarctica Marathon,
Yes,
right?
with Marissa, who we also need to talk about. She once had the best advice. She's like, water bottles are such a good race souvenir because they're fairly cheap. You use them all the time. If you lose them, it's kind of like, oh well, like you don't get too attached. Now this one I'm like actually kind of attached to, but so I've kind of followed her advice and I'm like, okay, water bottle, it's a good one.
That's great
Good one.
advice. What is
Yeah.
Morgan's last name? Or how do you pronounce it? I've seen it on social media, but I don't know. I'm putting you on the
Oh,
spot.
I'm putting it, yeah. Well, it's Polish like my husband, so I feel like the two of them, they just like, yeah.
Also very glad I could call you Brittaney Talbot because
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce your husband's last name.
We can talk
What
about it
is
later. Okay, it's Wyszynski, but it's spelled with a W. So the Ukrainian pronunciation is Wyszynski,
Okay.
yeah,
Brittaney Talbot Vichinsky. Wait, did I say that right? Wyszynski.
Wyszynski. With
Wyszynski.
yeah,
Okay, I got it. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I have a moderately like a name that kind of throws people off a little bit, Chura, like,
Okay.
and it's also Ukrainian. And so I appreciate that a little bit where I'm like, it looks like church, which is a quite easy word to
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
But then with the A on the end, it throws people off. And they're
Yeah.
like, what? And even like how I say it, but I'm also like, just say whatever you
It's
want. Like
yeah, it's
I'm
all
not
right.
someone who like gets super like
No.
precious about that because I do understand names are hard. But Morgan's is what I'm like,
I
I've
know.
seen her name online and I was like, I don't. But we love the Ukrainian Polish names.
We love
It's
them.
they're unique, they're
Absolutely.
beautiful. But okay, so drink number 2, water bottle
Okay,
in
drink
the
number 2.
Ironman. What's drink number 3?
Water bottle.
Okay.
Okay, drink number 3 is leftover, which I haven't finished. So we're not sponsored. We're not sponsored here, but I have been using this supplement Beam for like a
Okay.
while. It used to be I just use it for sleep, but they came out with they have a whole bunch of different things. I don't know. Still trying to look it up. It might work. So,
Is
I take
this
it.
is this like a sleep aid? Is that what it is?
This
Like
one isn't
magnesium?
though.
It's not.
Yes, the sleep
Okay.
one. I actually really do like the sleep one, but we're not ready for
Okay.
sleep right now.
Yes, it's not
But this
that
one is
late
like
in the day. I was like,
yes,
wow, okay, am I keeping you up?
no, not at all,
Okay.
not at all. Um, no, but this one's like during it was supposed to be the morning, and I just
And
mom
look at that
mom puts
mug.
her and I put it in my bottom
Okay, again, we're
stuff.
going with Morgan. If you can't get the water bottle, get the mug.
Get the mug, which is a very
Boston
yes,
Marathon mug, your
Boston
Beam and
Marathon
your
mug.
Boston Marathon mug. Okay.
Yeah, and then my sweet husband took. So we can talk about this later too, but he took Luke, my son, out for the day because we're working on this project, and like I was like, today I will work on this project, but Luke needs to like skedaddle. So they went on like a long adventure, which was funny because it basically was the adventure that I took him on a Friday. So he was like, I'm just gonna retrace your steps. But they went to this donut place called Sidecar, and so it was like buy one get one free or something. And so he was like, I got you a chai, oat milk chai. So I was like, awesome. Now I have another drink to bring.
That feels like the ultimate SoCal drink. If you can't have matcha, you can
Yeah,
have oat milk
you have an oat
chai
milk chai.
on
So
in like a beautiful glass. Like that's so
it's,
SoCal. Like I'm like,
and
that's
I'm
your
sure
to-go glass and it's so beautiful.
there it is. Um,
So Southern California, I adore Southern California, and a lot of it is because I adore like a great glass. I adore, just really good food in a really good place, sitting outside, and I feel like no one in the world does that as well as SoCal.
they kind of have it on the like
The
we
fancy
know.
drink, like a
Yeah,
fancy donut, a fancy
yeah,
like all
fancy.
those kind of things that you get to eat outside in perfect weather.
Yes.
No one does that better. Okay, so you have your oat milk chai.
Okay,
What's
and
what's
then
number 5?
maybe are we one, two, or maybe okay. So then my plan was okay. Another just Trader Joe's lemon. I feel like I got to do like the
Yes.
lemon elderflower soda. Again, not sponsored, but if Trader Joe's or Beam is listening, love a
Yes.
Trader Joe's. And I was like, oh, this is delicious. I will drink this lemon elderflower soda. Then I was like, okay, if I want to get wild, I put some gin in this cup. So
Beautiful cup.
this is from I think it's from Target many
It's
years ago.
beautiful.
Thank you. So I can do that. If we can get a little wild, and I can
Okay.
or So I was gonna read the
I'll show
room.
you what I have. Okay, yes, that
Okay.
is always good. I'm here for getting wild. I have a beer. It's a Breakside brewing, which I don't where is that? Oh, Portland. It's not California. If I had come, I should have come prepared, but I did
No.
like the Kraken on it. It has
Yeah.
a Kraken on it, is a breakthrough beast. I am someone who loves marketing. This is again why I love SoCal, because I feel like no one does marketing like geographically better than Southern California, which is probably why I love it. But I was like, ooh, I will do a hazy IPA with a Kraken on
Yeah.
it. So, and then I do have my Life of a Showgirl. Look at how it
Beautiful.
matches. Oh
Oh,
my
that is good. Oh,
gosh.
it's like the double.
The
It's like
orange and the
starfishy, little
yes, and then
iridescent.
the orange and
Let's do it.
the turquoise. Yes. So I'm off if you want to do the gin. I mean, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. So we're gonna celebrate. But cheers to you and all your drinks.
Cheers.
You can always I feel like if you drink gin with a mixer and then chase it with matcha, you are
Yeah, it's an
guaranteed to
upper and a
never
downer.
you're
Yeah.
never gonna have a hangover. You're gonna be
No.
perfect.
No, I'm
But
gonna have so much caffeine and that's something else I'm about to show.
well, matcha has caffeine in it, right? Because that is what I've
It
understood
does.
is that does chai have caffeine as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's like a black tea.
Are you a big tea drinker?
I am a tea drinker. Yeah.
Okay.
My
I feel like
husband is like
I
coffee, coffee, coffee. He'll drink
yes.
tea. He'll drink tea. But I'm like, I actually don't drink coffee.
You're an endurance athlete who doesn't drink coffee. I didn't know it
No.
existed.
Yeah.
Um, but you will drink tea, so you get your
Yes.
caffeine in other ways.
Yes. But so Vanessa, which let's talk well. Okay.
Vanessa
First,
Forster, who is,
Vanessa Forrester,
good friend of both ours,
legend,
another professional triathlete,
professional
and
triathlete.
she used to live here in Bozeman. I do coach her, and
Yes.
she's going to be a guest on this podcast
Yes.
someday, whether she likes it
Yes.
or not. She knows
Yes.
this. It's on her radar.
She, absolute legend. I feel like we could just have an entire hour talking about just make like Vanessa, like Stan Vanessa. Um, but talking well behind her back, which I totally stole from Amy Poehler's podcast. Texted me the other day and she's like, "What's your caffeine intake for life?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not actually. I don't know if it does much for me. Like I'm someone who could have,
Really?
yeah, like I could have black tea at night and then be like, oh, and like asleep. Well, my husband is
Wow.
like, I'm vibrating if he has like more than two cups of coffee after three. He's like, I can't. And I'm like,
Cut myself off at noon. I do, because
yeah,
otherwise I won't sleep. But
yeah,
I am like definitely an addict. Like when I wake up, that is the first thing I want in the morning. And
you
that's
gotta
even
have
if
it.
I'm swimming. If I'm swimming at 5:30 in the morning, I bring coffee to the pool. Like cuz I need it. Like I am such an addict, but you are not that way.
I mean, I feel like I kind of wish I was though. Like I
Yeah,
kind of
Vanessa
wish I
doesn't
could
drink
get that.
coffee either though. I don't
I
think
know
she drinks coffee
she's
either.
like, nah. What do you
So
do?
wild. You
But I know
people.
we talked a little bit about the Celsius drinks, which I have had,
Mm,
but I haven't had them in a long time. I think the last one I had was like pre Luke.
okay.
Um, and I think I
Because
did get a little bit like, ooh, all right, there's
you are a
something.
professional triathlete and a mom
Yes,
of a 1-year-old who
yes,
does not drink coffee.
yeah.
Amazing.
So I love sugar.
Okay. We can come up with some kind of endurance sport vice.
Yeah, I got
But
sugar.
Brittany, as we have your multiple drinks, if we do need to take a bathroom break during this, you are
Oh
more
yeah.
than welcome. Let me know.
No,
Uh,
also as a mom, you learn how to hold that shit. You're like, I'm not gonna pee for 6 hours. That's fine.
you're an impressive human. We can establish that. How did you get into endurance sports?
Oh, this is great. This is great. I was never an athlete, right? Like I tried out for sports and they were like, "Oh, sweetheart, no." Like could not, no, couldn't throw a ball, couldn't kick a ball, desperately wanted to. But they were like, "No, you don't." I would like make teams-ish because I could run, but nobody like said, "Hey, you should do the-" They're just like, "Okay, run away." But I did a lot of theater in school, like high school, and then into college. I actually went into like professional theater, and like now I'm in like uh uh the film industry
The film industry in Hollywood. I
in
mean, that
Hollywood.
is the dream.
Sure, yeah, it sounds glamorous, but I'm gonna tell you, like we're dirty. And I'm like I work in visual effects and I do a lot of puppetry, so I do a lot of like uh uh practical effects, which we can talk
Okay.
about more. Let's go back to, well, the side tangent. Let's talk about that. But yes, so um, like went to school. I went to the University of Connecticut for puppetry. Um, I mean, not originally. I was there as a theater major, and they were like, you need to fill your credits. Like you came in. I was very fortunate that in high school I could take classes that counted as college credits, and like I tested out of stuff. Like I just was very lucky. Like I'm so privileged to have that. But when I got to school, they were like, you need to take class. Like you need more classes. And my advisor was like, let's try puppetry. And I was like, sure. And they took me over off campus to what was known as the Puppet Arts Complex. And I walked in, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, and you can't start as a puppetry major as a freshman. So I was just taking the classes, but it wasn't like counting towards any major. And then my sophomore year, I could start minoring and doing like a double thing. So I graduated with a concentration in puppetry. Um, and I actually have been working in some sort of puppetry or film capacity since then. So, yes, you can get your degree in puppetry
And a job. I mean, I
and
feel like this is very
job.
cool. And you have gone to, I know you've gone to festivals,
Yeah,
and I mean, it's like insane, very
yeah,
physical job.
it is. Yeah. So that just hold that in your brain, like the puppetry stuff and like that. But while in school, I was like, I'd always like run casually and I could swim. Like I had been on like my town swim team, but I was never standout. Like, you know, maybe would come in. I think I was on my varsity cross country team, but I was not a standout person. I was just there. I was kind of like, you know, in the background, kind of. But in school, I also got a job working for our physical ed, or not physical, it's like the gym. I worked for the gym and we taught Group X classes. So I got certified in Group X and I was teaching spinning. And my advisor was like, okay, so you run and you swim and now this bike spinning thing, have you ever done a triathlon? I was like, no. Um, so little me, like 18 years old, I think I begged, borrowed, stole all the stuff to like start doing the, tiny grassroots triathlon that this town in Franklin, Massachusetts had. And I was like, oh, but this is real. It was very much like walking into the Puppets Art Complex. Like, I love this. And you just know, like in your guts, like, I love doing this. I love the way my brain feels while I do this. I love the asker. I love it. So I just like was casually doing swim, bike, run, race every once in a while. Uh, Graduated and did the Disney Triathlon before. Yes, yes,
My gosh, this is my dream. The
girl.
Disney Triathlon, because it doesn't exist
It doesn't
anymore.
exist anymore.
What was
This
that
was
like?
this is right before they drained the Paradise Pier water to do World of Color.
Okay.
So they drained so right before, so they like pulled all this equipment out, and then they let
Interesting.
us swim in Paradise Pier, and then you like get out and you do like the bike around the park, and then you like run through, and then that's it.
What year was this?
Oh my God. I don't know. I
Like,
still have the
in the
keychain though.
early, like mid 2000s or
Oh yeah.
something.
Like I'm gonna say I was probably like 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, what
I
an
was 4 years old.
experience. Did you did you win? Did you win?
No, God, no. No.
Oh,
Um,
how was the medal? Because the Run Disney medals are pretty incredible. I'm wondering about this
I
Disney Triathlon. Do you have it?
I do. It's my keychain.
How cool! That's so cool. That's a great use for a medal.
Yeah. It is my key because it has a really nice. It was the Danskin Women's Triathlon Series, so it has
Okay.
this like nice saying of like the woman who starts the race is not the woman who finishes.
Wow.
And I was just like, that's a dope sentiment. And I just put it on my car key and it's been my car keychain ever since.
And you had these somewhat humble beginnings
Yes.
in the Danskin women's race, racing through Disney. When did Ironman come on your
Oh,
radar?
yes. Okay. So doing casual racing, my husband, I meet my husband. I just want a side note. I also worked for Disney for a few years.
How did I not know this about you? Wait, in Florida? In
No,
Florida or in
in
California?
California.
In California. Okay.
Huh? I'm just going to say, I worked in entertainment.
Okay. Wait, were you a cast member?
I was a cast member. Um, and when I left, I worked in entertainment. There's some things I can tell you are um, I worked in the parades and characters department for some stuff.
You can't say what character you were?
I can say I was friends with characters.
Which friend? Which characters
Which
were you
friends?
friends?
Oh,
Because I'm also like thinking like puppetry. I mean, Disney
mhm,
does puppetry very
mhm,
well. Is that what you
mhm.
were doing? You were friends with with
Mhm.
certain puppet characters?
Yep, and sometimes, yeah. But my favorite thing, so I love doing that. That was really fun. Um, but I also worked in guest talent, so I worked with like the kids who come in to do performances. We guest talent also was in charge of the Disney marathons, where entertainment would be placed, and
Okay.
volunteers. Like we would be like their stage managers and like take them there. So I had worked at some of the Disney marathons in California
Okay.
as well, and which is so funny when you were talking about it. I was like, oh, I know what that's all about.
It
But
is
I also got to do something called,
The Disneyland races, for anyone who hasn't run them, like, they did just the last ones just happened until the foreseeable
yes,
future.
yes,
They
because
just
they're
happened
doing
earlier
some.
this year.
I have a visitor.
Huge. Oh, is this Luke?
Yeah.
We don't have Oh, I'm so glad. Oh my goodness.
Hi.
Yay! Yes. Oh my goodness. Luke, your podcasting debut.
You're gonna be on a podcast. Oh, he's waving.
He's perfection. He heard Disney and
He
he's
heard Disney
like,
and he's like, I gotta go.
has Luke been to Disney yet?
He has
Is that
been.
wow, oh
Yeah.
fun. How
He
is
went with.
Disney like having worked there and then having taken your child there? Is it a different experience?
It was a lot of fun. Because I mean it changed. It changed a lot. So I met my husband at Disneyland as well. But we're not like
What?
no.
This is everyone's dream. I like you're gonna say you're not a Disney adult, but honestly, I am a Disney adult. I love Disney as an adult. I never, it's like, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We met backstage. We were both working there. Um yeah. So it's but Disney does not we like oh and here's my cat too. So now we got
Brittany Talbot with the very full
ah,
life.
all the
Um,
drinks, all the children, all the
Wait, was this like a fairy tale, like meet cute? That were you each in costume as different fairy tale characters, and then that's how you met?
we yes. So kind of, yes, we were backstage and he was reading and blocking at the same time. Like, wait, is your podcast explicit?
Yeah, say
Can I
whatever you
can I swear?
want.
He was like fucking Belle, right? He's like, And me, I was like, what are you reading? Tell me what you're reading. And he was like, oh, I don't know, it's this book, right? And then of course I was like, all right, well now I think you're cute. I'm gonna talk to you. And then this is really weird, but I'm just gonna tell, your public, that at Disney they used to publish your schedules. I'm sure they don't do this now, but they would publish them and you could go and you could like look and see like, okay, where is he working? And so I would like conveniently be like, okay, I didn't change my schedule to stalk him, but I would be like, I'm gonna look extra cute today because we're gonna cross paths.
No
Um,
way.
yeah. So it was creepy, but not,
No,
you know.
this is a fairy tale. This
It
is
was.
everyone's
I was
dream.
like, okay, he's gonna work and he's gonna have lunch. He's probably gonna have lunch around the
Is
same time
he
I am.
are you and you're both in character while you're
Well, he
having
worked in attractions. He
what
worked in
track?
attractions.
Okay.
So he was doing ride operation, and then he also worked on the safety features of one of the coasters.
Okay.
So I was also very impressed because he was very smart to be doing that. And then he left because he finished grad school, and he left, and he still was working for Disney, but at like in corporate offices because he
Okay.
was he was now he had got his graduate degree in computer science and is a back end engineer. So he left the park, but was still technically at Disney, and I
Okay.
was also still at Disney, but in the park doing entertainment and guest talent. And one of my favorite things, the Yes program, which was like the youth education series where we just did like educational programming in the park. But it was the best job to have when you're 21 years old because you have so much energy and you would like run around with these, high school kids telling them about like leadership and the physics of roller coasters or whatever. It was great. And I was like, I don't think I could do that today. I would be, even though I do Ironman, I'm like that shit is exhausting.
I believe it. Yeah, but that's what a cool job to have in your early 20s.
Yes, it's.
And you met your husband, and
I
I
met
feel
my
like
husband.
I mean, I don't, again, I only know Disney more as like a person who does run Disney, who's been to the parks, and, a fan. And I read Bob Iger's book, loved it, and I feel like I'm such a fan. I feel like they definitely vet their employees, so I feel like it's a very good place. If you want to, like,
Yes.
meet someone
Yes.
and you want, like, that pool to be like, these are high quality humans, like, it's a good place. You're probably not gonna get, like, ghosted by someone at Disney because I feel like that kind of person can't work there.
Yeah. I think like it does attract a certain type of person. And there's also, it's just like, I think the statistic is like, it is the biggest employer in Southern California. Out, I think maybe like one of the hospitals around here, maybe
Mhm.
is more, but it's just like, so it's just a massive amount of people kind of, it's its own ecosystem. And so, yeah, like, and they have clubs. They have like, there's this pier. Well, now it's the Rivers of America, right? Yes, Rivers of America. They do like
Wow.
the canoe boats. So like you can meet and like they have a softball team. Like it's its own thing.
Cool. That's cool. And
Yeah.
now you're both Disney alums because you do not
Yes.
you no longer work there, but it
Yeah.
sounds like there's probably a pretty strong alumni network.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes. Actually, Chad just had like dinner with some people that he met at Disney a while ago. So yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so Disney brings you
Yes.
joy,
Okay. Right.
triathlon, husband. I
Yes.
mean, and then but again, short triathlons around the
Right.
Disney campus.
Short.
And then when did Ironman come into the
So
equation?
I think like I was doing a race and I won. And my husband's like, "You're good at this." And I was like, "Ah." He's like, "No, I think you're actually like really good at this. You should do more." And so we just like started pushing like, okay, what does more look like? And I was doing more and more. Um, like 70, I started doing 70.3. I think Oceanside was my first 70.3 because it's like in our backyard. There's another one that I did up in Seattle that doesn't exist anymore, Stevens. And then I got married, and kind of the sad part of the story now is that we lost a pregnancy in 2016 and 2015ish. And I was like, okay, I just need something to kind of like reset and like give me something to go to when I feel kind of like, "Ugh." And I was like, I should just do a full Ironman. Let's just do it. So I remember sitting in like a parking lot signing up. So I signed up
You
for
never
Vineman.
forget where you were when you signed up for your first Ironman.
Very sad.
I went in
Where were you?
I didn't have internet at my apartment at the time, so I
Okay.
had to go into work. I think it was, like, on, like, a Saturday. I think it was Ironman
Okay.
Florida was the first one, and I had to go into
Great.
work. I had to go into the office, right?
Where were
And,
you
like,
living?
I was living in Atlanta, and
Okay.
here's the thing, like, people could see when you were logged in, and I was, like, logged in on, like, a Saturday morning and, like, something like that, and so I'm, like, logged in the office on a Saturday morning, and I think one of my bosses was like, "Man, you are working so hard. You were at the office on Saturday."
Yes, I am. I
I
am.
was there because I was so cheap and I didn't want us to have internet at home, and I was signing
I'm
up for an
working so hard.
Ironman.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working.
But you had I mean, a lot of times sometimes it was like you had to sign up, like, at that minute. It
Yeah.
wasn't it would sell out, and so
Yeah.
you had to sign up on that day. And it's a big thing, your first one, and how old were you when you signed up for your first Ironman?
Math. I want to say I was 24.
Okay, so you're young.
Yeah. 24, 25.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And which Ironman
Yes.
was it?
It was Vine Man, which doesn't exist anymore,
Okay. I
which is,
know,
is a fantastic one.
yes, and then how did it go?
So I was so unprepared. So unprepared. I think I lost my water bottles at like mile 40 off the back of my bike and was
Common
like, that's,
that's a very universal occurrence these
yeah.
days.
And
I
I
feel
was
like
like,
I have water bottles everywhere.
yeah, I was like, well, oh, well, I'll be fine.
Mm,
I think I used I mean, I definitely used aid stations, but I just, I I think like when you're that young and you're made of rubber, you just like don't feel things. Or maybe it was just like the bliss of ignorance of like, I don't know. And then I got a flat tire and I had rented race wheels. And so I was like, I don't know how to change these. And some sweet, sweet local who was out on his like casual bike ride, somehow on the course, came by and saw me, and I was just like, sitting on the side of the road, like, I don't know what to do. He was like, let's take your wheel off. Let's put my wheel on. And I'm going to call your husband and tell him that you're okay. And then to this day, I'm like, I don't think he was a real human. I think he was
Oh, an
just the
angel?
spirit. Although
Like,
I did go to where he I don't know, somehow I found out that he had PT, or like he was doing physical therapy somewhere, and I dropped off a support crew shirt for him because I was like, you were my support crew. But I never
wow.
saw him again. Yeah, and so then I finished the bike ride. That is a blur. Maybe disassociated and blacked out. And then I did the run, and girl, when I say that I was unprepared, again, I thought I had to do a fast transition. So I wore 5K race flats without socks
For an Ironman marathon.
for an Ironman marathon. And I think that was a three loops of this 8 mile loop.
Yeah.
And the first loop I was like, let's go. Threw down, just like killing it. Second loop, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Third loop, I remember just like walking at one point, and someone was like, hey, it's going to be okay. He was
Is
like,
there
hey,
just like blood running out of your shoes?
I don't know. I don't know how,
You
like,
finished.
I finished. I did trip. Oh my God, this was funny. I tripped over a kid, like cause you go through like, and this like little kid was like running alongside, and he like kind of cut in front of me, and I tripped over him, and I like hit the
Running into
ground.
the finish chute?
It was like you go past the finish line 3 times or 2 times, and then you go in. And this little kid who's probably just excited, and he just like kind of like jutted his shoulder out, and I like tripped over him,
That's a
and
lot.
I like hit the ground, and I was like, I what am I doing?
Did you just wanna,
But I
like, lay
finished.
there? Like, that's how
Yes, I did. I
Ironman
think I
marathon
cried a little
feels.
bit.
For anyone who has not done an Ironman marathon, it is, like, any step you have to take that does not make forward progress to the finish line feels like impossible and, like, the
Yeah,
worst thing in the world. And
yeah.
so, if someone has to step in front of you and you have to, like, weave around them, it's like, "No, no, no, this cannot happen." And I cannot imagine if you ended up on the ground, like, I'm like, I don't know if I'd get back up. I'm like, "Okay,
I
this is the rest of my life. I just lay here."
I live here now. I live at this high school in Guerneville.
Yes. But you got back up and you
I got back
crossed
up,
that finish
finished,
line.
crossed the finish line, and was like, "Well, never want to do that again." And then about, I don't know. Then I met Vanessa, and I was like, time to do a full. She is the reason why I do like,
Really?
yeah, 100%. Those like legit, and with a mentality and a preparedness that I definitely did not have before.
Wow, because you went from I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. A lot of people, honestly, a lot of pros have these like incredible starts. They win their first Ironman. Everything goes well. That was not me. That was not me. I walked my first Ironman marathon, and it sounds like that wasn't you. And but yet here you are. Now you are racing pro, and I find that it is really fascinating, and it kind of does show that you can go from not you don't have to have a very perfect first triathlon or first Ironman, and you can end up in a really good spot because I know that between then and now, you ended up qualifying for Kona, racing Kona as an age grouper, having an incredible race in Kona, and racing pro.
Yeah. Again, see earlier comment, I was never an athlete. I just was like, I kind of want to do this thing. And so it was this like, you remove like, I'm not the star. There's no eyes on me right now. So I'm just going to do it because I love it. And sometimes I lose sight of that. But every time I go back to, oh, I just really love this, that's like the best, like the sweet spot of doing
Okay.
anything. Like,
And when did things start to click? Because that was kind of recent, right?
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, after Ironman, so I did go back to some like short distance racing and had like I was like getting on the podium and winning my age groups and that kind of stuff. Like went to nationals, on the podium, that kind of work. Then I was on a national touring show called Jurassic World Live.
Incredible.
I was the lead puppeteer dinosaur and lead like dinosaur. Um, and my beautiful, beautiful friend Madison Embry, who's now on tour with the Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Amazing.
Incredible. She is also an athlete. She would be like, I'm not athletic, but she's well actually no, she would probably own her athleticism, but she's a extremely talented dancer, but she now is like basically is the hype girl for the circus. But she also was like super, super encouraging. While on tour, I was like kind of still trying to train and do some stuff. And she was always like, okay, go for your swim. She was like, go have fun at your swim. And like, where are you running today? She was so, so encouraging. So that when the pandemic hit, and I was like, what am I going to do? She also was like, well, you're still going to do racing, right? Oh, after pandemic, like got back into racing. And that's, I think when I really, and that's also when I met Vanessa was like during that 2021 time,
Hmm.
um, like set new goals and standards for myself of like, okay, I've done Ironman. Now I want to like
Race an
succeed.
Ironman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I mean, finishing is a feat. And
Hmm.
anyone who can get to to the start line and the finish line, like that's just like
Hmm.
yes. But that feeling of like, I want to race it. I want to like push. Um, Started, I think, around 2020, 2021. And I was able to be really, really focused because the world was kind of at a standstill and I just trained all the time. Got really good at swimming and biking and running for a little bit. And then I did Ironman Indiana, which also doesn't
Okay.
exist anymore. Came in second for my age group.
Wow.
And I think I was third over. I was either second or third overall. Now I can't remember. But didn't get my Kona slot. And so I was just, I was devastated.
Yeah.
But like, that's how hard it was and is for women.
Yes.
There was, I think, more spots for men in one
Hmm.
age group than there were for the entire women's field. It was
Wow.
wild. So then I was like, all right, let's go. So then I did Ironman California. Again, I think I was either third or fourth overall, but I think I was third in my age group. Didn't get my slot, right? So then I was like, we gotta go. And then I did Texas and I finally got my spot and then Kona. So it's kind of been this like I feel like I'm a little bit of that imposter syndrome. Like I've never won my age group in an Ironman. I've been close. Um, but I think you were really important in taking my pro card because now it's a different level of racing. But you were the first coach to say, you should do it. And I
Well,
was like, really? I'm
I
not good
think
enough. And you were like, no, you should do it. You've earned it. You should do it.
do I mean I still feel that way. I think that that's something I think I grew up with as even as a swimmer, I'm really thankful to my mom because I think there were times when I as a swimmer, I wasn't always the best swimmer as a kid. And I remember I qualified for this sectionals meet and it was in Washington and it was like, oh, should we go? Should we not go? Because it was a big ask for my
Yeah.
family to travel to Washington. And I think a coach was like, you just never know. Like, you got to go. Like, you never know what life is going to throw at you. And you have these experiences. I'm really thankful. I got really sick of that race. It wasn't great. But I think now looking at the trajectory of my life, I'm like so thankful I've had, those kind of experiences when I was young helped me a lot as an
Yeah.
adult into my professional triathlon career. And so I do think there's certain things. I mean, you go into it with different expectations of like, what do you want to get out of this? And I think you've been very healthy about your expectations because you also made this decision to go pro and then soon after found out you were pregnant.
Yes. Yeah. I think that actually was kind of like an awesome thing because then I said, well, I'm not probably going to get much faster. And they, meaning the USAT, were phenomenal about like, yes, you were pregnant, you get the pregnancy extension, like that. They immediately granted that to me without much like, um, which I think I credit women who've come before me for laying that foundation because I don't think it was that easy probably 4 years ago, which like maybe even less time. Same with Boston. Like I qualified for Boston at Kona.
'Cause, only a very few do, because that means you ran, like, an incredible marathon at Kona, and I was just talking to someone about this today because I like, I, I have run the Kona Marathon. It
Yeah,
is so hard. It
it's so
is
hard.
so hard. It's the surface of sun. You're running at, like, 1 to 4 PM. It's, like,
There's
so
carnage.
hard, and you qualified for Boston in your first Kona.
Yeah.
You had an incredible marathon there,
Thank
which is,
you.
like,
Thanks,
very
babe.
hard to do. Very hard to
I
do.
was just so happy to be off the bike and to be running. I think I laid down like a 39-minute 10K, and people were like, "You need to chill,
Chill. But
chill it
you
out,
still
baby."
finished really strong. I mean,
I
again,
did.
that is something it took me 10 years, and even my last Kona marathon wasn't even my fastest, but I was like, "It's good enough. It's never getting better."
This is that. This is that,
And
baby.
I was still running the last mile, and, like, we were gonna call that a win. But, okay, so you
Okay.
made the decision, you're gonna go pro,
Yep.
and then you find out you're pregnant, and that I mean, it changes the timeline, but you have
Yeah.
stuck with it, and so
Yeah.
you had a great I mean, I assume from my perspective as your coach, I mean, maybe we should have disclosed that earlier. I
Oh yeah.
did coach you,
Yes.
and I've coached
Said it.
several athletes who
Yeah.
have through pregnancy, and everyone is very different. And that is something that, I mean, everyone is very different, but I feel like you you were on a training plan and you were training quite a bit until you delivered, which is
Yes.
really incredible.
I'm very, very lucky. I'm very grateful that like I think I already had such a great foundation. Um, Even though that I had some trouble with two different pregnancies before. I've lost two pregnancies before Luke, so I was like, all right, but they weren't anything that was like anything I could control. If that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
it just like that's the way sometimes genetics works. Um, and but throughout through Luke's pregnancy, my pregnancy with Luke, I don't know. I was like, I feel good. Let's just keep riding this till I feel good. But I needed a coach to like give me something so that I didn't overthink, overdo. Like I loved having, here's what we're gonna do now. And so it was like very crucial to, I think, the success of training through pregnancy to have someone who kept like checking in. But I also like I just feels really good. I swam the day I went into labor. And then I was mad because I was like, no, I have a strength training thing I gotta do. And my OB was like, no, you need to you're having contractions. Let's go. And I was like, I got a band workout. I really well planned. It's like I didn't pack that in my to go bag. And she was like, no, you gotta go.
Oh my gosh,
Um
dedicated to the plan.
I have a thing. I have a I don't want red on my training peak.
Oh my
No,
gosh,
just
no.
kidding. No, I'm not. I don't. That actually doesn't bother me at all.
Go in there and make it optional so it does not
Yeah,
show up as
it's
red.
not at all.
But
Um, I did wear my Garmin for
I think
when we went into like real labor, and I put that on Strava. Someone already did it, so I was copying that beautiful person. But I was like, yes. Um,
I hope you got
but
a
yeah,
lot of kudos. I hope you got a lot of kudos for that.
yeah.
That
The
deserves a
four
lot of
people who
kudos.
follow me on Strava were like, cool. They're like,
And
what is this?
after you had Luke, after you gave
Yes.
birth and you delivered, was there ever a time where you're like, "Oh, maybe I don't need to come back." Like maybe qualifying to go pro was enough and now I don't want to come back.
No, 1,000%. I was like, okay, baby's out. Let's go. I'm like, I want to go. Which again, I think you were instrumental in being like, hey, I know you want to go. I'm going to give you very easy, and I mean, very easy, but like very, um, calculated workouts to ease you back in without injury. Which I actually I have my notes app open here for you. As a coach, how do you okay, so I know a couple of your other athletes, and we, in the nicest way, we call you a witch
I
because
love it. That's the best
you
compliment
are,
anyone has given
we're
me
like,
today.
she is a sorceress, she is a witch. We don't know how she does it, but somehow your workouts are very like, uh, okay, they're not,
Boring.
no, I was going to say, they're not fancy. They're not like, I have to write down a million, okay, and then I'm going to do, 2.5 minutes on that. It's just like very straightforward, very like, okay, you can really like drop in. But and it's like pretty consistent. But everyone I know who works with you ends up with like, well, I just PR'd this, I just PR'd that. And like, but then you will get on their training peaks and you're like, I'm adjusting this because I'm just nervous something. And it's like very minor, but it's like she knows. Or like
This
you'll
makes
text me and you'll be like, hey, I'm gonna do this. And we're like, how does she know? So as a coach, you were like feeling you were like knowing what is going through maybe pregnancy. You're like, I'm gonna give you stuff, but not too much.
this is the nicest compliment you could give me, honestly. Like, I'm about
It's
to
real
start
because we all
crying,
talk
but
about you.
well, but also I am someone I've never given birth. I've never been pregnant. And so I'm like, this is like something that I am like, I have been, I've had ups and downs through my career. And I
Yeah.
think I've been an athlete for a long time. And I also feel like I know you as like a very driven human. And I know rationally that pregnancy and delivery is an incredible stress on your body. And then again, I don't know what it's like to be a parent, but I know that it's hard.
Do you have a dog?
Yes, the dog. I mean, I remember what it's like when the
Dogs are perma toddlers.
dog wakes you up all the time, and it
Yeah.
does, like, and then the stress is on your body. And so I think that's like a little bit of it, like trying to keep track of like stress on the body, like, and to the extent I can have. I mean, it'd be even better if I was like living in the next bedroom or across the street and I got to actually see you, but that'd be a little creepy. So that's not quite where I am.
Would you
But
schedule stalk me?
yes, but I know I'm like, show me your location, but no, I do not have time for that. But I think it's definitely, um, it's definitely something that I think you have to know as a coach that you are dealing with. I only work with adults and I work with mostly very high achieving people. And so it is about like getting the big things right. And as you said earlier, like
Mm.
getting to the start line healthy. And I do think understanding like stresses in life that come from training, come from parenting, that come from work, from all that kind of thing. And like, okay, I'm going to ask the most I can of you within the context of what I know about your life. And so I think that that was it. And I do think I've also, just talked to people, and I do think one of the scariest things about coming back from pregnancy is the risk of injury, because your body has just gone through so much. And like, it's like, okay, that was my number one goal. I'm like, we're going to try to stay healthy. And sometimes, like you said, genetics just make it hard. Sometimes some people are more susceptible to injury, and it is
Yeah.
not like by any fault of anyone, but I do think that's something I try really hard to do. And I am so proud of your return, because
Aw.
you're even right now, you're barely a year postpartum, and you did your first pro race like only like how many months postpartum?
I
You
think
did
that was 9 months.
Santa Cruz
Oh, oh, I
70.3.
did. Yeah, I did. That like not silly. It was super fun. I just got lost on the course.
Oh, that's right. You did Santa Barbara,
I
which
did
was like,
Santa
I
Barbara.
would love to do that race sometime. It sounds so beautiful, but
It's
then
so fun,
you got
so
lost on it
fast.
because you
But
were
I
doing
got
the
lost.
Olympic, and then you did like you did double the bike length, right?
Yeah, like I just missed the turn.
Which is, sometimes it happens. Like we love a local race, but you also had a very good attitude about that. I think even like we had trained to do like 24 miles on the bike, and then you go and you do like 40 or 48 or
Yeah, and I
something,
was like,
which is
oh,
quite a big difference.
yes.
But you
But
still
yes,
did
my
it.
first like pro was Santa Cruz, and I think it was 9 months
Okay.
postpartum.
What
And
did
like
you think of your first pro experience, just from the experience perspective? Because you were someone
yes,
who's raced Kona, you've raced as an amateur, you've raced at high level as an amateur, been on the podium many times. What did you think of that first pro race?
I I think I also had this. I want to say it was like an advantage of like let's fuck around and find out. Sorry, we're getting the E on this particular episode, but really it was that because I was like, there's nobody has eyes on me this is one of my favorite races. My husband loves that race too because he loves to go with us and like surf. So it feels like a very um, family friendly. Luke was there. Like it was easy. Everything was easy. I was super intimidated by the pros that were there, but like Jackie Herring was so kind to me. She was like, I want to hold your baby. Tamara Jewett was also there, also nice to me, even though she was probably like, who's this crazy girl?
Tamara's great. She loved it,
She's
I'm
wonderful.
sure.
She's like so sweet, and I just get starstruck. And so I like say the most random weird things, and I'm sure both of them are like, get this girl away from me. But I just like could just go and just have a blast, which was again like when I go to that place of like this is just so much fun and joyous, then it's good. I will say, I will say, at mile 4 of the run, I was like, huh, I got like 9 more miles to go. And then around mile 7, I was like, oh, okay. Like I was definitely uh, not not racing, but I was just I did get a little emotional at the end because I was like, I did it. I did it. I made it. Santa Cruz also gorgeous. Like you run on that beautiful nature preserve and like it's just there's nothing better. And then coming down the finish line and I have this beautiful shot of my husband and Luke there. And like there's an Ironman flag and everyone's cheering for us. And even though I think I was might have been the last pro, second to last pro, like didn't matter. I was just like, I
You
did it.
finished.
I finished it. So I I think part of the decision to go pro was like, okay, I'm gonna say I'm not getting any faster. However, you have now coached me on a 10K PR, half marathon PR, and a marathon PR. I am, but I think that's you. But
No, that is you. It is you. Again, I'm like, I can write 30-minute easy run. Like, no, I'm just kidding. You have to actually
but
do
you
it.
know what to do. I think
Um,
you're like looking at it. But yes,
That
I
was
don't know
such a
what.
triumphant moment. I do think that
Yeah,
race in Santa Cruz, a 9-month-old baby is so little, but and you did that very healthily. Like I want to
yeah,
like you had this, given your pregnancy and your delivery and your postpartum time, we did that very healthily. Were you at your very best when we went to Santa Cruz? No, but it was like you had your reasons for being there and I think you had done enough run training to do the 13.1. And I think we talked. I'm like, this is probably not going to be your best half marathon of your
yes,
life,
yes,
but you can do it, I think, in a healthy way. And it's going to get you there. And you're going to have done your first pro race. And then we're going to go do more pro races and you'll have that experience. And now you're going to be further postpartum and able to, race a little bit more to your full ability, which you have. So we alluded to Oceanside, which was
yeah,
your first pro series race. It was a race you had
yeah.
raced as an age grouper, but it was a pro series race. So a little bit different. What did you think of that?
I was also. I mean, there was a lot more eyes on that one. But again, I nobody I wanna say, like, nobody cared about me, but Iron Man did, like they were very they've I've had great experience with them so far. Like, they checked in. They treated me as if I was still as important as, like, Taylor Knibb.
As they should,
Yeah,
as they
they still
should.
everyone was, like, still very respectful, and so like, personally, that was my experience with them. But yeah, like it's kind of like the pressure's off. So just go and like do the thing that you enjoy doing. I think with my decision again to go pro was like, yes, they're like pros and cons, right? Like the pro of going pro is I get like perks of my own porta potty line and um that kind of VIP-ish treatment of like I have my own transition area and you just get certain things that like you don't always get as an age grouper. Like I get to start with the women that I'm racing. Like that's cool. Um, you are out ahead, so you are done earlier. You're out of the heat. All of these things I get to say forever. And I think you've reminded me of this that I raced as a pro. Like those things are really really cool. It doesn't necessarily. It is harder. Well, wait, I should say I feel it's harder to qualify for like world championships now because I'm in this like group of people who are literally the world champions. Like, I
Mm,
think I raced Salvi, and I was like, well, you know, she's she's the current Kona winner. Um,
yeah.
so that's like it's a lot. It's just a lot harder. Now, I will say this: there are so many women in my age group and around my age group that are extraordinarily talented. They could race as pros, and they are winning their age group, and so they are going to world championships. So if like being on the podium and going to world championship is like important to you, that's kind of where being an age grouper, a really good age grouper, the incentive to stay.
Hmm.
Also, being a really good age grouper means like you can pick any races because I've learned now being a pro, like you have only a certain amount that you can choose.
Right.
So it's like, oh, I can't do Santa Cruz this year because I don't have a pro field.
Right.
So that's like, oh, bummer. But like, there's, yeah. So you kind of toss up. So like, I don't think anyone's decision to go pro or not go pro is like one is better than the other. It's just kind of like what you want out of your race experience. Like right now, I'm not going to be on the podium, so there's not a lot of like that kind of extra, like yes. Or I'm also not winning any money. But like, yeah,
Yet.
like
I feel like, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
sometimes I think it's almost like what you talked about earlier with the getting a Kona slot. And it is one of the hard things in this sport is that some of that is luck. Like who shows up, which you
yes,
don't know until
yeah,
race day.
yeah,
And so that is it's a little bit of a hard thing in this sport is you can't control it and some of it is luck.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. And like
But
flat tires, like I think,
yeah,
there'll be, or your bike falling apart midway through. That happens to pros too.
it's a hard sport.
And so
It's
you
a
just never know. Yeah.
But
Um,
you have crossed several pro finish lines now, and Luke, your son, is able to watch you. He is
yes.
small, but I think there is something. There has to be something to this, to watching your mom cross the finish line.
Ah,
And you've had these incredible photos of him post race and like you said, him cheering for you. And I think there's so much admiration of all of us. And that's something as someone who's on the other side now, who's retired and it has gone to a few races as a coach and as a commentator. I will say that on the outside, because I know what it's like to race pro, and I know what it's like to
yeah.
race Solvay and Taylor Nib, and you're like, oh my god. Like, and you feel like, oh my gosh, like maybe I'm not worthy. But honestly, I also know people like Taylor Nib and they're happy you're there. And
Yeah.
they do believe you're worthy. And no one on the sidelines, no one watching thinks that you are unworthy. Everyone is thinking so much, nothing but admiration and respect for every single person, especially everyone racing pro. And I also think that is from the Ironman organization, from what I have seen from the behind the scenes, is they do care and you do
Yeah.
belong there and they do want to help you have the best day possible. So I think that is like enjoy it, like enjoy this experience because you will talk about it for the rest of your life. Um before I want to touch
I
on
know.
this, the Boston. Like, so
Okay.
you finish in Oceanside, and then I think was Boston 3 weeks later
I
or
think
4 weeks?
it was
No,
either
it's 3
3 or
weeks
4
because it
weeks.
was the
Yeah,
same
it's
weekend
3.
as Ironman Texas.
Yes. Yes.
And I mean, you got like 2 more days because on Monday, but that this was your first standalone marathon.
First standalone.
What did you think of Boston?
Um, oh, well, I did go to high school in Boston, which is, so it was a little bit like, "Hi, like, I'm here."
Wait,
The
did you go to
best
boarding school
No,
or
no, 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 no.
Oh,
My
okay.
family, we moved around a ton, and so I say Boston area. We lived in this, like, this town called Franklin, Massachusetts, which is
Okay.
wonderful, sweet little town, love it. Great place to be in high school. Maybe lacking a little bit in, like, cultural diversity, but I think they're getting better. Anyway, um, one of the most magical things about Boston for me is that my 2 of my sisters live very close. One lives in Rhode Island, one lives in, close to Hopkinton, actually, and then my brother, is moving closer to Boston. He and his fiancée just got their apartment together, so they're moving closer to Boston, not in Boston. Um, so 2 of my triplet sisters already live there. My brother basically lives there. And my other
Wait.
sister,
2 of your triplet sisters?
yes,
Are you wait, am I
I'm not
just
a
learn
triplet.
Okay, I was like,
I'm not
am
a
I just
triplet.
learning this
No, no, no.
online that you're a triplet? You have triplet sisters?
Yes. So I'm the oldest, and then I have triplet sisters, and then I have a brother.
What a
Yeah.
family. Okay, I'm a little
We're
relieved that
wild.
if I had not known that
No,
you were a triplet until we were on air podcasting, I would have felt so ashamed of
I just
myself.
casually
Okay.
dropped. By
But
the way,
still, that
there's
is
2 more of me.
wild. You had triplet sisters, but
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, your
So then
sisters
my
are at
other
Boston.
so yes. So most of my siblings live there, and then my sweet sister who lives in Atlanta, who works for the CDC, she wanted to surprise me, but the cat got out of the bag a little early because we are like, we're buying Red Sox tickets, and she was like, oh yeah, maybe you should include one more. So
They're like,
all
"We
of my
just want an
siblings,
empty seat to put our bags."
yeah, exactly, and I was like, and she is a runner. She actually did the Atlanta Marathon like 2 or 3 weeks before as well. So yeah, all of my siblings were there. That was probably the most race support I've ever had ever in my life. Because like they placed themselves along the route,
No
and then my husband
way.
was at the end. So one sister and her husband were at the start. Then I had another sister and her husband at like mile 15 or 16 ish. And then my brother and my sister and my future sister-in-law um, were at, I think, around mile 20 ish.
Okay.
And then my husband was at the finish line. So they were there when I, like, at the points where I absolutely needed them the most. And like the way they showed up for me, and I'm the big sister, right? And so like the way that my younger siblings like were there was like it was the most magical. Yeah, yeah. They showed up in just the most enormous way. They had incredible funny posters. One of my sisters ran with me for like a while, and she was like, "Take your gel," and I was like, "Okay."
That's a good sister. Take your
Yes.
gel.
Yeah. She was like, "What do you need me to tell you?" And I was like, "Probably to take my gel." And she was like, "Okay." They were so, yeah. So that was wonderful. And they, like, the entire weekend, they were like, they don't live, Boston for the marathon is incredible, but like, it's hard to get around. Like, it's crowded, things. But they were like, no questions asked. They were like, "Where do you want us? When do we need to be there?" And they would like be there. Like, I don't know how they found parking, but
Wow.
they just did it. And they were like, cool. Like, they brought me things, and yeah.
And you had a great race, 3:12
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
very first standalone marathon, your very first Boston. I mean, I think we talked afterwards and it's like I know that you will have a faster marathon in you, but also 3:12 is really good. Like
Thank you,
really
baby.
good.
Thank you so
I think
much.
it's so good. And I think the context, I mean, this was an incredible little block of racing and it sounds like you enjoyed the major
Yeah.
marathon.
Yeah. It's wonderful to travel without your bike. What do you mean? All I need are my pair of shoes. Um, so that's really sweet. I think too, like, there's, yeah, I think, there's just a lot. It was a party.
Yes. Okay,
I
tell
think
me
someone
about your
drank a beer, like, he was
part.
like cracking open a beer while he was coming across. I was like, all right, go
I
for
mean,
it, dude.
it's what we do now. It's like age of social media and like
Yeah.
it's okay to be absurd. I love it. Tell me about your nails. I need to see. Are your nails
Okay.
Boston nails?
They are. In true LA fashion, I go to this woman who like does nail art for like and nails for the stars. She's the best. She's so sweet and so down to earth. But so I was like, "Hey, I kind of want some nail art for the Boston Marathon," and she was like, "Okay," and she just went crazy. So let me see if I can. So
They are
there's a
you have a
unicorn.
unicorn on your nail, a Boston
Yes,
unicorn.
and because I qualified at Kona, she gave me the Kona waves on this nail. And then she just like did some designs.
I have never been more jealous of someone nails. I had
Just
these from Ironman, Texas still, but like
that,
they're just
yeah,
the coral, like hot coral, which I
yeah.
did. I am too afraid to do designs, but that is where, sometimes SoCal it delivers
You
and
can just
you can
I'm
get the
sure she
same nail artist as the
the stars.
stars.
but you can pay her to travel to you if you want.
Okay, I need to
If you-
yeah, like
or
I will
just come hang out with me.
I want to come hang out. I love
Okay.
Southern California. I'm someone
We'll
who
drink
loves
matcha.
LA. Yes. Okay, maybe that is it. I will have my first matcha in LA. I'm going to come visit.
Great.
I have loved chatting with you,
I know we
Brittany,
could talk all
and
night.
this has been so fun. I think
Oh,
I
wait,
I
I have
I
like a million questions for you.
I mean, you're welcome to ask them, but I also I hate asking this question, but I feel like it
Okay.
is appropriate because it's been enough time since Boston, but I want to know what's next. What have you made any decisions? I'm asking
Yes,
you this on air.
I know. Ready? I'm doing Ironman Lake Placid.
All right, in
I am
July.
in
Okay.
July. I'm super stoked because there's a couple other athletes that I know, and it's not my news to share who, but a couple other athletes I know that are going to do it, and I'm both in age group and pro, so I'm very excited to just go and like again just like have a giant party in upstate New York in the middle of July.
I'm so honored you
Um,
broke that news here.
Thanks,
Thank
baby.
you. I'm very excited about this. I am hopefully going to be in Placid as well too. We're a little unsure on what role. Maybe commentary again. If Ironman will have me back. But I think this is going to be like a really fun time, and I think again, your trajectory when we take a step back is so impressive. And I think that you, coming from, a childhood where you necessarily weren't the best and your career as a puppeteer and the Disney Triathlon to pro racing as a mom
Yeah.
and then, working your way back up to Ironman and a pro series Ironman. I hope if not now, when Luke is old enough to do his own races with you, that he really appreciates everything his mom has done.
Oh,
And again, you're not done yet. You're quite young.
nah.
So it's just
Yeah.
to this point.
Listen.
But congratulations.
Thanks, babe.
Congratulations on Oceanside and Boston. Keep recovering hard. And I'm
You
so
too.
excited to be a part of your journey to Lake Placid.
Yay! I know. All right. Um, yeah.
You can ask questions if you want.
I
I'm
got
like, this
questions
is
for
my
you.
own podcast. We can go as long as we
That's
need
right.
to.
Okay, great. Well, here, so triathlon questions. Um, as a coach, how do you like to work? Do you like to know like full race schedule? You're like, I want to see like
I will
January to
say
December, or
this
you
has
like,
changed. This has
okay,
changed. Previous to
talk about it.
Kona, I would like make a spreadsheet of people's like full race schedules. And honestly, like in February 2020, like I spent this time, I like sat down and I had like mapped out all of my athletes' schedules for like everything. And then COVID happened and all that work went out the window. And like COVID taught me how to be a lot more like just how to work with the uncertainty,
Mm,
when you don't know if
hmm.
races are happening or how to periodize when you don't have a race. And so I think that's been something that I've evolved with over my coaching
Ooh,
career. I also think I know from racing pro that like you can't always commit to a full year. Like sometimes with age group racing, like you have to because you have to sign up for a race a year in advance,
right.
they sell out. But with pro racing, like that's one of the advantages of racing pro is that sometimes you can get into these races a little bit more last minute. You don't have to commit a full year out. And so I think I learned for myself like how to be a little bit more flexible and then like I said during as we come out of the pandemic and I enjoy coaching quite a variety of athletes and
Okay.
they all want different things and so some of them are training for a specific race that might be several months away. Other people like to race more frequently. Other people, honestly, maybe never want to race. They just want a training plan. And I think
Yeah.
that there's a place for all of those people within
Yeah.
the sport. So it's something that has evolved over my coaching career. And now I would say, I mean, I have a few athletes that are probably like, they want to kind of map things out for an entire year. And we kind of can, but I will always caveat that like, we need an exception, a contingency in case there's a global pandemic or
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
But which I don't like to say anything worse, but I think that has taught me where you can't be rigid. You never know.
Yeah. Or if like, oh, that race got
Canceled.
shifted or yeah, canceled or like
Like
if you got there and the swim was canceled and now,
yes.
like yeah.
Well, and
to be.
endurance sports, it really pays off to be a little flexible. Like, I think it attracts a lot of type A people to endurance sports. So I'm like, you're dealing with high achievers because that's who can handle this. You know, it's
Are you
so
type
hard.
A?
Oh, I don't think I am. I'm
Really?
so messy. I'm
Are you
such a
B?
disaster. I don't, is B the only other
I don't
option?
know.
Is there a Z? Like,
Is there? Yeah.
no, I
What's
think
your
I'm,
anagram? I don't even.
my Enneagram is 7. Have you
I
got,
don't even
what's
know.
yours? Oh,
I have no
okay.
idea. I don't know my This is where I fail in the LA. I don't know my horoscope either. Well, I know my sign.
Wait,
I just don't know
what is
anything
your
about it.
sign?
I'm a Sagittarius and I know nothing.
Oh, that's like October, right? Like
No, it's December.
December. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Although, okay, here's an LA thing. So the project
I
that my
was
husband and I
thinking
are working.
Scorpio. I was thinking the other S. Like
I
again,
don't know.
I'm a Leo, and so that would probably explain why I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I know.
yeah. I don't
I'll
know.
confidently say your birthday's in the wrong month, even
Yeah,
though I definitely have a spreadsheet that has your birthday on it.
sure. Fine.
But
Um,
wait, what were you saying?
oh, that's my LA thing. My LA. So you think you're like more type B,
Okay. Yeah,
maybe.
yes, but does that answer your question? I feel like I just spent like
No,
12
I was like,
minutes.
oh, curious about like what's your coaching, yeah, style, I guess. And it's like you meet the athletes where they're at. It sounds like,
That is what I aim to do. So
yeah,
hopefully I do achieve that,
yes,
but it is I try
you're a witch.
I don't know. I think again, I only coach adults. And so I think that
Sure.
if you're coaching younger people, there is a little bit like you have like I assume every single person that comes to me is like motivated in their own way. They are doing the most they can given their life circumstances. Most everyone I coach has another job. And so it is. It's about like again, meeting them where they are. Like some people are parents, some people are and so I am always like my athlete is doing as much as they can. Like I am not the kind of coach that's going to be like mad if someone skips a workout because I'm like, no, things happen, life happens. And I do believe that like training and racing, no matter what level you're at, should be a positive part of your life. And so that's kind of the ethos I bring. Hopefully it comes
Yeah.
across
No,
that
I
way.
think that's a great. I would, yeah, describe that as your coaching style. Okay, what trends are you into?
What trends? Okay. I
And this could
I
be athlete or non-athlete. Like
Well, I
you
was
could be like,
thinking like
I'm
social media, like that kind
sure
of
that's
thing.
idea. Yeah,
I'm like, I love that trend that was kind of recent where people were like the celebrities were showing what they were like in the 90s trend. I
what were
love
you like in
certain
the '90s?
I was so cool.
Tell me.
I peaked in the 90s, let's be
Me in the
honest.
'90s.
I was like
Okay,
so
tell me
cool.
everything about you in the '90s.
I mean, I had the like I never got Jinkos, but I love the wide leg jeans. You know, I
Okay.
had those. I had the ones like they weren't the name brand ones, but I did that. I know I do love the fashion going back. I love a low rise. I'm a
Oh,
40-year-old who loves a low rise.
no shame.
Um, you know, now yeah, I love the like I
Are you like
love
a choker,
yeah, I'll
like
wear a
Doc
choker.
Martens and a
Yes.
daisy print dress,
Yes, I love
Lilith
all
Fair?
that. Yes,
Yes.
I do love the like nostalgia thing. I think that's one of the nice things about being 40 now is like because like my age group demographic usually, you know, not with the exception of me, has a little bit more money. All the marketing is like targeted at me and I love it. I'm like live up this moment
You're like,
when like
I don't care.
everything is for me. So I like that trend. I think the
Great.
trend of young people doing endurance sports, I like that. I think that's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
I think also the trend of I feel like book clubs are kind of in trend and this is something I just got
Marissa and I
invited.
have a book club.
Is it in person?
Another
Oh,
reason why you should just come hang out with us.
I should just come hang out. Okay, what book are you reading?
Mm. We are about to. Well, we're reading Yesteryear, which is about trad wives. No way!
This is the book I just bought yesterday. Okay.
She's a
Wait,
witch.
we should say like this is Marissa Melnick, who is another athlete I
We
coach who lives in
again
SoCal
stand Marissa.
and who also just ran the Antarctica Marathon. Maybe we should have Marissa on to talk about Antarctica because I have not fully downloaded
She's
with her,
also
but
hilarious. Like I think you'd have like
okay,
2 hours of content of just like hilariously
I'm
laughing at
gonna reach
everything.
out to Marissa. I'm just gonna like keep interviewing all my athletes because again, y'all are amazing. So I was just invited into a book club, and this is the book Yesteryear. So if anyone wants to read Caro Claire Burke,
Yes.
like I've been told it's like a trad wife who wakes up in the like 1800s? Is that what happens? Have you read it already?
I don't like to read the blurbs because I like to be
Okay.
like, what's happening? But I know that the trad wife and like, and yeah, time shift is, I think. So I'm
Okay.
excited.
Book clubs in
Book clubs,
style.
great trends.
Yesteryear in trend. These are I mean, we're on the
We
same page.
we just wanna go back to the 90s. But life was simple. Um,
Sometimes I really do enjoy. I mean, podcasts didn't exist in the 90s, so
sure,
there
yes.
are some good things
We
to
we
today's.
want 2026 mentality, kind of. We want, but we
Yes.
want 90s simplicity.
Yeah, I
But
love 90s
also
fashion, 90s
90s fashion.
hairstyles.
Yeah.
I think there's some
We
good
want to flip.
things.
We want a Nokia brick phone.
I
I guess that
want
was,
I
yeah.
want neon. I want to race triathlon in as little clothing as possible.
Yes.
No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding. But
I hear you.
but no, there's some good things to now, and we are gonna make new memories in Lake Placid and hopefully, in
Yes.
between. And then maybe we can start a happy hour book club too. But I gotta get this done by I think May something.
But yeah.
I want to actually join this book club. So that's like
Great.
I'm trying hard. So I'll keep you
We'll like,
posted.
yeah, we'll keep each other accountable.
Yes. Okay. Are there more
Okay. I have
questions?
one more question for you.
Got it.
This is kind of a silly one, but I love to ask this question. If you were to snuggle with any apex predator, and they can talk, they can not talk. Like this can be like a Narnia situation. It can just be like just a big, cuddly animal. But if it's apex predator, who do you snuggle with?
So hard, but I think
There's no
okay,
wrong
only
answer.
someone who studied theater and puppetry would come up with this question.
Yeah, probably. Truly psychotic.
I think I'm going with a lion.
Great, great. You are Leo, as we just
I'm a Leo,
established.
but then also like when I was at Disney World last January, we went on that little safari and I saw the lion and I was like, "Oh my God." I feel like they'd be like maybe it looks furrier than it is, but I was just like, "Oh, I could just like as long as I'm not going to like get my,
No, 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 no.
get
Like you're
murdered."
perfect. Everything's safe.
Okay. I mean, I could
Yeah,
just like, yeah, just curl up right next to
you're just
them.
fine.
Curl up
Yeah,
next to
you're
that
just part of the
mane.
pride.
Can I ask you the same question? What's your
Yes, of
answer?
course. It changes all the time, but for a little while, it was I would love a wolf.
Okay.
Just like a like wolf. I think because I read Julie and the Wolf, and I was like, oh well, clearly I need to just like my parents need to just abandon me in like the
You're like,
Canadian
you
tundra.
have 4 other children.
I
I'll
was like,
just go
bye,
live with the wolves.
bye. That wolf will take care of me. Um, so for anyone who hasn't read the Newberry Classic, go read Julie with the Wolves. There's 3 of them. Okay, but so for a little while I was like wolf, wolf, wolf. But
Okay.
I think I actually have been okay. There was a period of time where I was like bear, because a bear is going to be like, "Hey, do you want to order a pizza?" And you'd be like, "Yes, yes,
Bears do
bear,
love eating.
yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
And so like you would eat one slice, and the bear would be like, "Oh, you're only going to have one slice? You should have another." Like I feel like that's the kind of mentality a bear would bring to your snuggle,
Mm-hmm.
is like really let you indulge. But
Yeah.
I feel like a lion would be just like, you know, especially
Yeah.
like the whole lion pride.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
it'd be
like
kind of
all of them.
cool.
Yeah, just be like, those women just worked hard, and so they're like, they're gonna appreciate your hard work, and those
Yeah.
men are just gonna be like, oh, I love that you just want to recline, and then all those like little lion cubs were just like,
Mm-hmm.
you're the shit, So I think, yeah. Anyway, there's no wrong answer. One time, someone told me they would snuggle with a giant squid, and I was like, tell me more. Tell me
That's
more about that. And he
this
was
is
like,
a
oh,
great question.
yeah, yeah, it's great. So,
I mean, yeah, do you think a squid is snuggly? But
all the
maybe.
arms, like getting
Oh,
really,
that's a
like
good
all
point.
held by the arms. And I was like, that's fair. Very good.
That's a fair point. I mean,
Excellent.
okay, I might
Yeah.
steal this. I might steal
Yeah.
this next time I'm in an
Please do.
icebreaker situation. I will do
Yes.
that.
Oh, it's a fantastic icebreaker because it's also ridiculous.
So good. Brittany,
Yeah.
thank you so much
My
for coming on the
pleasure. Thank you
show,
so
sharing
much.
so much of yourself, and leaving us
And
with
just
so
spending
much
a
to look
Saturday night
forward
with
to.
me.
Amazing.
All right.
Thank you
Have so much
again.
fun editing this. You have so much content. And I am a huge fan of your podcast.